Welcome to this edition of Education Briefs, brought to you by the New Jersey Association of School Administrators, which is comprised of Chief Education Officers and school administrators representing school districts throughout New Jersey. Here is Dr. Richard Baza, Executive Director of the NJASA.
Evaluating and compensating educators on students' learning and performance is a very important undertaking. So much so that one of the federal government's primary areas of research in the Race to the Top grants is the recruitment, development, reward, and retention of effective teachers and principals. Even the Bill and Linda Gates Foundation understands the importance and has provided over $290 million in grants to 3 of the nation's largest school districts and the Los Angeles Charter Schools to fund the research and experiments required to study teacher evaluation and performance pay. Governor Christie is also trying to address this critical issue, however with a much different approach. By executive order, he appointed 9 New Jersey residents and gave them the responsibility of presenting recommendations on how best to measure the effectiveness of teachers and school leaders by March 1st, 2011. This task force has been given no funding and only has the support of the Department of Education. At a time when new research from Vanderbilt University demonstrates the failure of merit pay for teachers to improve student performance, they will certainly have a daunting challenge. The Rutgers-Eagleton Institute of Politics recently released the results of their survey, whereby 63% of New Jersey voters polled oppose basing teacher pay on pupil results. Similar national sentiment is reflected in a Phi Delta Kappa Gallup poll, in which 60% of respondents said the primary purpose for teacher evaluations should be to help them improve their teaching, rather than to set their salaries or to document ineffectiveness that could lead to firing. As talented and dedicated as the members of the governor's task force may be, we must ask the question, what can we reasonably expect from their investigation, given few resources and a March deadline for their recommendations? True accountability provides students and teachers with feedback about their performance throughout the year and helps each to modify the learning program to achieve success. And while we agree performance evaluations should reflect how students are progressing, it must be done within a system that promotes success, not embarrassment. About 20% of our school professionals can currently be linked to statewide math and language tests. But if this data is used to measure and evaluate today's educators, curriculums will more than likely narrow, and New Jersey students will continue to be surpassed by other nations' students. In addition, many other countries understand the broader context of learning and are already preparing their young citizens to face the competitive challenges in today's global, flat world economy. International assessments demonstrate that their students significantly outperform students from the United States. There are 4 specific things New Jersey can do to better address this issue. First, we need to accept that meaningful improvement can't be made by adopting short-sighted goals and accountability systems. Second, we must have the patience and prudence to learn from the emerging experience of those states and systems that have secured significantly greater resources to accomplish the same goals as New Jersey's task force. Third, we should look to the experience of the countries that demonstrate significant student achievement gains on international assessments and evaluate their methods for use in New Jersey. And fourth, we should support New Jersey's task force in its work, provide the members with input that assists their work, and develop an understanding that its report will be a beginning, not the conclusion, of this critical work. Educators must take the lead in defining reform for New Jersey students and speak forcefully about what experience and research defines as effective practice in recruiting, developing, rewarding, and retaining effective teachers and school leaders. If we don't, our students will be left with a system guided by political soundbite reform and misguided expectations.
New Jersey's Chief Education Officers, moving education forward. To learn more about New Jersey's Chief Education Officers, visit us at the web at njasa.net.